Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Advancement Center, where we celebrate the advancement of humanity. And this appears as a return to knowing and experiencing via these broadcasts our true identity and our origin. As we gather here on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays, we recognize each other as family in the highest sense of being here at this time. Now, right now, Robert and I are sitting alone in our beautiful sunny living room at either ends of a long table. He is controlling the technology of this broadcast, while I am given the power and the joy to transmit our message of love to you and to the world and to the universe. It was 10 years ago today that Spirit carried me to Oz, having just completed the Wizard course. I love to say I'm a Wizard of Oz. That was fun. Now, this past Wednesday, David reminded us with his words of wisdom. Inside you is the key to unlock the door to the new world. And I answered, we have all the keys right now. So many people have responded to the magic that David called forth. And that inspired me to not only acknowledge the magic of each one seeking the new world, but to make sure that there is no need for searching for the keys when we all have them in our possession right now. The oak tree is encapsulated in the acorn. The baby who has just arrived has all the keys for life in that beautiful little body. Keys come in all sorts of shapes, dimensions, and functions. They open doors and gates to hidden rooms and gardens. Musical sounds in a high key for an angel's voice, or in a lower key for a magnificent basso profundo. The keys I refer to are not visible and have an unending power to uplift, change, and alter the world you have been inhabiting right now and calling your world. More keys are our many capacities to love, to nurture, to calm a fretful baby by our transmission through loving touch and caressing sounds that soothe. And this calming allows the little one to grow and mature. Did you ever see and hear a little one soothing a pet or a doll? These gifts are inherent in everyone. This key bypasses your mind's glossary and is heard by your heart. A passerby gives you a big smile because of your presence. This is felt. A friend says, you can do it. And all of a sudden, you can make that dive off the higher board than ever before. Confidence is the key. Loyalty is a key. True friendship is another key. And infinite trust is the key to the all. When spirit moves me, I have been handed the key to my destiny. And so are you. I am loving the freedom to speak these words to you. And the other thought I had was, even if the external world tries to render us ineffective, inside us all, we have the key to unlock the door from the inside to the world of magic and miracles up here on our elevated platform of living. And what I started to say just before, and I don't want to forget, I am loving the freedom to speak these words to you, my friends who are my family, because we all speak in the key of light and truth, and knowing that we are not from here and have come from our origin to bring and experience heaven on earth. So this leads me directly to what I was reading last week in a Simeon transmission. And I got there because I wanted to know, what was Simeon saying just before Robert told us that we would be doing the broadcasts? And that was July 11th, 2018. That's right. Very exciting. So we're picking up from where we left off last week. And it's always brilliant. The brilliance of what we bring today is imprinted in your signature. It is beyond every world and outside of everything that's known. And all you have to do is turn it up and watch yourself glow. And watch the quality of your life change immediately. As you're aware of your own glow, everything possible will fall into place, and everything impossible will move out of the road. In speaking of this, we are going past the logic of the mind, and we're going past everything you know. And all you have to do is step past everything for a fraction of a second, and everything I speak about switches on, and that fraction of a second stays with you forever. The special part of all this is that it never has to be mentioned again, because we've gone past the barrier, past the area of comparison, past the screen where everything is reflected into the real world, where everything stands alone and has no objection, no comparison, and no laws. The calmness of your being will now be understood. The calmness of your progress will be understood. And your advanced intelligence will mean nothing because it is with you all the time. That's how you will operate, and there will be no comparison. So every step along the way will leave everything else behind, and everything in the newness of your moment will be your world. There is much to explore, and it is not time-based, and you have access to it all. So on this occasion, we welcome you, and we welcome you home in all areas, at all time. Thank you for listening. I am Simeon. Yeah. Simeon really knows us, and he speaks directly to our hearts, our knowingness, and the life that we are living. Now, on Wednesday, we switched around. David spoke on Wednesday, and Genya spoke just this past Friday. But on Wednesday, David gave this, and it's wonderful. And it's called So Beautiful. You're a diamond covered up by coal. So beautiful to me. You're a pearl covered in a shell. So beautiful to me. You're God covered up by flesh. So beautiful to me. One day soon, it will be clear to you that to love yourself is all you need to do. Believe me when I say you don't need to change your way, and that what you feel deep inside is true, that you are beautiful to me and you. I see you on the inside looking out, overcome by all the judgment, guilt, and doubt. Don't believe them when they say that you need to change your way, because you're beautiful beyond what words could say. Yes, you're beautiful beyond what words can say. I see the diamond. I see the pearl. I see God when I look at you. I see the diamond. I see the pearl. I see God. Love yourself. I see the diamond. I see the pearl. I see God every day. I see the diamond. I see the pearl. I see God. Be yourself. I see the diamond. I see the pearl. I see God. Yes, I see you. Thank you, David. I just have to tell you that gathering and sorting and preparing to share with you is the highlight of my week. And it's an honor. So thank you. And there's more. I've been reading from this next piece, and I got there by accident, but there are no accidents. I was looking for something on my computer, and I was looking for something that started, if you consider, and all of a sudden there were 2 listings. And I looked for the one that I wasn't familiar with, and it was a writing by Robert. And I love it. So I'm going to read another portion. If you consider your life and everything in it, you will find nothing but thoughts and images that are developed from some comparison or memory that holds a place somewhere in your being. If you connect with nature, there is an experience of your life that holds true even when your considerations run wild. Nature and everything in it forms the flow that is needed to complete your world and take you beyond all considerations, no matter how good they may be. There are many ways of connection with nature, and our food is one of the most common. This, however, has so many interactions with other energies and personalities that it sometimes becomes totally disconnected from its origin and does not perform as a vehicle for closing the loop between our energies and the energies of the earth and its surroundings. The food of today very rarely takes us to the doorway of new dimensions unless we add the special energies of preparation with magic and celebration. In the same way, if we celebrate and enjoy our surroundings, there will be a magical response from nature that enhances everything in our lives and takes us to heights that are not normally available. Not everyone experiences the gift of having nature at its best outside their door, but the thing with nature is that if you invite it into your life, it will be present immediately. The moment you think of a tree, it is right beside you, even if you're in a high-rise apartment building. The magic that happens with nature is real. And the moment you think of a special flower, the aroma appears for you, and many times for the people near you. This is your unique connection to the hidden flow that is available as soon as you happen to allow it in as part of your day. The activities of the day do not hold nature away, but sometimes the intensity of our personal lives prevents the flow from balancing our systems. It is at this time that a conscious effort is needed to be near the trees or out in nature where its influence is more than obvious to our senses. In any case, the magic always happens, and life responds to each person simply because that is how it works. I love that. I always loved trees. In fact, when I lived in Hawaii, there was one tree on my walk that just beckoned to me, and I hugged it every day. I'm sure you can all think of a tree right now, a tree that's meaningful. Yeah, without the yellow ribbon. Oh, I think I'm going to talk about Swiss Indo now. I always wonder, how am I going to put Swiss Indo in there when I'm talking and speaking Simeon's words, David's words, but I think it's now. So for our new friends joining us for the first time, perhaps, please go to this website. It's swissindo.net. news. And right in front of you, you will see a post saying, download the M1 voucher. And it looks just like this. Okay. And in that box, you're going to put a passport picture that would fit in there. Do not sign it. Do not put your social security number, but put your right thumbprint in the lower right-hand corner. Of course, you're going to print this out before, and then keep it in a safe place, and I'll keep you posted as to when you can take it to the bank. Literally. So that's pretty good news. Then if you're on the same website, scroll down a little bit further, and you'll find the Debt Burden Liberation Certificate that looks like this. And this is amazing because of what has happened in 2016. All debts incurred before that date have been paid for royally. Believe me, the minute you were born, they have been trading on you as if you were a commodity. So you've paid all those debts. You've gone to banks, you've made loans, you've paid them back with interest. You do not owe those debts. But there again, download, print it out, and I'll explain how you will be paid for your basic needs monthly for the rest of your life. And for every adult, that means $1,200 a month for life, up to $6 million. So live a long time. And for children, school-age children, they get $600 a month until the age of 17. So that's pretty wonderful. And this is all being made possible by Swisindo, based in Indonesia, and the head of Swisindo, and making all of this possible, is a person we call M1. And when we go to our meetings, he's Honorable Bapak. And he is beloved because it is his intention, and he will make a big difference in the world. No more debt slavery. No more poverty. There was a fly in the ointment because they trumped up some charges against him and put him in jail. The verdict came down. It is not accepted. And they are in the appealing process right now. And the good news is that the representation has been stepped up, and we're feeling very, very positive about this. And just to remind you, I have something very interesting to read to you. I'm going to remind you that Swisindo was the beginning of the United Nations. President Sukarno began the United Nations in Jakarta, Indonesia. And then the Americans claimed it and wanted to build it and have it centered in New York City. as that big rectangular building on the East River that I visited many, many times. Little did I know. So President Sukarno began the United Nations, and his name has been erased from the UN's history. But it's all coming back. Yeah. Now, I haven't said this before, but President Sukarno, who started the UN, was the first M1. And this is his plan. We live in a very exciting time, and we're going to see many, many changes, and all for the better. Now, there's another website that I think you'll enjoy, and that's called Swissindo.net. And you're immediately taken to, I think it's called Wiki Notes or Wiki something. And that's the place where you can read, understand, and see what I've been speaking about as the history of Swissindo. And by the way, at this date, I would say about 20 million people have downloaded M1 vouchers. And they take their picture and they're up on a Skype group, and there's a lot happening. And it's all for the good of the people. And by the way, you are definitely invited to visit my blog, which is easy to remember. It's barbaraworks.com. And I invite you to post comments, ask questions, or just click on posts and put your thoughts down. And I'm going to post the UN Swissindo International Development Association book, and it's called Relawan, Relawan. And I'm going to read a portion of it right now. President Sukarno was so much a part of my childhood, and to just hear that they've obliterated his name is still quite shocking to me. At any rate, this is the greeting welcome to President Sukarno of Indonesia at the Andrews Air Force Base, April 24th, 1961. And JFK is speaking. I want to take this opportunity to welcome the President of the Republic of Indonesia. His country has always held the imagination of the people of the United States. Near to my own city of Boston, the town of Salem. Its seal is a ship, and the words are, "To the farthest island of the Indies." From the beginning of our country, from the first voyage of Columbus, which was intended to reach his country, down through the 18th century and the 19th century, his country has attracted the youngest and the bravest of our countrymen who have sailed to those islands. We have, however, an even greater interest in his country today, and it is a source of satisfaction to me that the United States played, I think, a useful and helpful role in the early days when his country was first becoming established. Remember, it was Royal Dutch Indies? I remember that from elementary school. We wish that the relations between his country and the United States should be intimate and close. We seek for our country what he seeks for his country, a better life for his people, a life of independence, a life of security. I am particularly glad also to welcome him here because he is, in a very real sense, the father of his country. Throughout his life, he has devoted himself to the independence of his country. He occupies the unique role in the life of his country and his people that was occupied by the early founders of this country. And therefore, in welcoming him once again to the shores of the United States, we welcome a distinguished national leader, public papers of the president's father of his country, and a leader in the world. Therefore, Mr. President, it is a great honor for me to welcome you here to the United States and to tell you that the people of this country are happy to have you here again. And Sukarno replied, I am happy to be on American soil again for the 5th time. I think America is the only country in the world where I have visited so often, of course, for certain reasons. When I came here the first time in 1956, in my speech, I said I had come to see for myself the center of an idea. And 2 years ago in Los Angeles, I said, this time I come to the United States to see for myself one of the centers of action. The United States occupies a very distinguished part, a very distinguished place in the hearts of the Indonesian people. And really, I am very grateful to the President of the United States, President Kennedy, that he has invited me to call on Washington to see him, to have talks with him. And he continues, President Kennedy called me 2 minutes ago the father of the Indonesian nation, and it is, in my opinion, not true. I am not the father of the Indonesian nation. I am not the father. I am just a small mouthpiece of the aspirations, the longings, the wishes of the Indonesian nation. I am not the father of the nation. I am nothing. Without my nation, I am just the man next door. Now, that was April in 1961. And then he came back for another visit. And this I just want to make sure I want to get to that part. Okay. This was, okay. All right. The two presidents welcomed this opportunity to renew their friendship and the confidence which has characterized the relations between their two countries. The two presidents discussed the recent emergence of the new nations in Asia. I'm afraid that's cut off, so I can't read it. Okay. At any rate, they love each other, they support each other, they recognize each other. And in 1963, they got together and Okay. Well, I guess I'm going to just have to. All right, I'll tell you the other because I know it so well. In 1963, there was the Green-Hilton Agreement. I think I'm right. At any rate, they were talking very seriously about the dissolution of the Federal Reserve and going back to a gold-backed currency. This was, I believe, November 1963. And 8 days later, JFK was assassinated. They can't sit on that secret any longer. It is so obvious. So there you have it. And I will put this up on my blog in case you want to see it. And at this point, I'm going to read another wonderful piece by David called The Dance of Freedom. Stay at peace and continue to smile in the face of all that is appearing in your world as disturbance. All that is appearing as difficulty, appearing as suffering and loss. The mighty beings of creation have encircled you in their embrace of love. They have told me that your joy will soon be received, and that the music that you hear in the laughter of a child will take over the world and be the soundtrack of your new life. It has been heard throughout all the realms and is making its way here on a mighty wave of light. The indwelling being of majesty, which is you, will open its beautiful colors like a peacock, displaying your true magnificence before the world. And then another song will be played. It will be your song, and the melody that has always been yours will be felt in all your being and will take your breath away. Your heart will explode with an excitement that is the foundation of all creation, and you will dance the dance of freedom and harmony that you brought with you from your origin. You will strut your brilliance with a sparkle in your eye and a smile on your face, and the party will start, and the celebration will last for eternity and beyond. Love that. How perfect. How absolutely perfect. Mm. I've often been telling you about the website youngsite.com. That's a treasure trove. And late last night, I think it was about 11:20, I just put in a word in the search bar and came up with this. And I said, I must share that with you. today. And this is Simeon's transmission, December 28th, 2016. And Simeon said, Robert brought in Simeon. Good morning. This is Simeon coming to you from the outer reaches of the universe, bringing you energies to support your day and to take you further into the world of your Creator. Listening each day brings a new era into operation, and the world absorbs the energies from all the universe in a special way to enable each person to bring themselves to a new level and take on the gifts that come from their origin, so they can deliver them into the earth and to the people around them. We speak of these gifts because there's only one person who knows what they are, and that is each individual. And so, as we enhance everyone's picture by adding the appropriate energies, the world starts to flow in a different direction. The perfection of everyone's life becomes a possibility and then suddenly becomes real. And the world of magic and miracles reappears in a special way each day. We are now at a point where we can honestly say that the special energies of the universe are pouring into the earth and into every being as we speak. The words don't sound new, but the operation is totally new. And it is a unique perfection that is being offered by every being in the universe. We can talk about the very, very practical of the ships that enter your field and the field of Earth, and we can speak about individuals who look after those ships and the people on board, and you will understand that they are not like the ships you draw in your comic books. And they're not like the ships that are built on Earth. And size is not comparable to anything you're used to. Once you know a little bit about everything that surrounds you, you will realize that everything we have on those ships, you also have on Earth. And you will know that you can control everything around you through a whole different method, and you can bring the mighty ship of Earth into its own simply by being part of it and presenting yourself as a galactic star and as part of the universal forces that maintain balance throughout the galaxies. We can speak in detail about working beyond technology and about making things happen without any knowledge of the technology behind it. And we can speak about making sure that everyone's safe and fed and maintained at a level that is well above expectation. All these things are within your reach, and all the facilities are at your fingertips. The more we speak, the more you will understand that it's not a case of understanding. It's a case of knowing and feeling and experiencing something that is totally new and not a derivative of what you already know. So let us all join together in our separate ways so that all the varieties of gifts, talents, and feelings add together to produce that special atmosphere of active energies that will make a difference to your world. In saying all that, we have just opened a few more channels, and it is our intention to continue until the subjects we talk about are part of everyday conversation. Thank you once again, your loving friend, Simeon. I love that. And another gift from David is called a lightness inside of you. That's where the key is. There's a new feeling of lightness inside of you, and the outside world is starting to reflect that. The physical aspect of you is now being inhabited by the aspect of you that sits at the right hand of the Creator in greater and greater proportion, allowing the density of darkness and gravity to fall away, leaving you with a feeling of lightness throughout your field. In your world, the sun is always shining, and you embrace the human aspect of yourself and all humanity with compassion as you spread this essence of lightness, harmony, and perfection with all the world, leading the way for all humankind to transform and transition into their own magnificence. The feeling is palpable, as if a weight was lifted off the universe and all its inhabitants, making way for a wave of light to wash over all life. And in an instant, all will be changed. So it is both here and coming at the same time, and change is the evidence that expresses this truth in the physical. Stand ready with excitement and know that your life is about to change and that you and your world will never be the same. Thank you for being here. And now, as if I've never said this before, we wish you a perfect life, perfect health, and a really magic future. Thank you.